Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Through the Glass Table. As always, I'm your host, Ismael Bustamante.
And I'm Everett Walker.
And today we'll be talking about Straight Outta Compton.
Straight Outta Compton is the gangster-ass story about four real-ass niggas chasing that paper by spreading that street truth with their dope-ass lyrics and they hype-ass rhymes. And along their journey, they cross paths with a slick talent manager named Jerry Heller, played by Paul Giamatti, who leads the group now dubbed NWA into superstardom.
Today we have a special guest with us. His name is Gabriel Ramirez, and he's one of my closest friends.
And he's my roommate.
And we thought he was a good fit today, since he is an avid listener of hip-hop, and he grew up with this music.
Thanks for having me on the show, guys. I really appreciate it. I appreciate you guys' work.
You're welcome. And since you're our special guest today, we always ask you first, what did you think of Straight Outta Compton?
You know, when the trailer first came out, I was really excited to see this movie. So I'm really glad that this movie was able to live up to my expectations because I felt that it really had really strong performances and it was a really good movie.
Most of this cast was pretty good. I really was impressed with Eazy-E, the guy that played Eazy-E. I thought he stole the show. He was interesting. He reminded me exactly of the images that I remember seeing of Eazy-E when I was growing up.
I also really liked Paul Giamatti's character. He kind of gave a real credibility to this cast. I mean, this cast had a lot of unknown characters. The only person that was really in it that I knew was the guy's son who played, who starred in Are We There Yet?
O'Shea Jackson.
Yeah, O'Shea Jackson Jr.
The person I really liked was, Paul Giamatti's hair throughout the movie. Like, it was just so terrible. I'm sorry.
Person I wasn't in love with, and it was a little strange that they would cast someone so boring as someone who's so important to the history of this group, is the guy that played Dr. Dre. I was just sort of bored by him the whole entire performance. He just phoned it in.
I mean, if we can give a quick second, I mean, Dr. Dre really doesn't have a lot of different,
That is true.
Personality traits that he can really go off of, but at the same time, he did fall flat, I think. But, true.
Another thing we really liked about this movie was the music. I thought the music really took front. Obviously, this is a movie about legends in the music industry, so of course it's going to be important to the movie. But I thought the way that they used everything in the background, it set the tone for the 90s and all the stuff that we were seeing visually.
The music, this is what I grew up with. Everything about it, it all took me back. Just when I was younger, listening to it, it was great. And one of the best things about that too is kind of like hearing the songs for the first time when they played No Vaseline in the movie. It was kind of like the audience's first time ever hearing that song, and everybody was just laughing, and it was like
they were pretty hyped though.
That's like the greatest diss track ever, one of the greatest diss tracks ever, and it's just funny how people that weren't exposed to this before are now going to be exposed to it.
Yeah, and I felt like that was particular for me coming as an outsider. I didn't really grow up with this music, so listening for the first time in the movie, it really reflected, or it balanced what they were trying to do with, showing that there were, this was their art, they had reasons to be saying this stuff, and they knew what they were talking about, and it was just seeing that nice balance in the movie.
So another thing that we thought was pretty good about this movie, and I think we discussed this beforehand, I really hate biopics, and I don't think you guys are too keen on them either. I don't know for sure, but this one, it didn't fall for the pitfalls that most biopics usually do.
Yeah, I know, like how a biopic usually starts by showing how the group is formed and all this, and that's like pretty much the framework throughout the whole thing. This one was very interesting in that it starts off with a scene that kind of demonstrates the lifestyle and the troubles that NWA was going through and everything that the hood was going through, and it was just a perfect scene to set up the whole movie.
And another scene that really stood out to me that kind of go away from the biopic, but this one was really emotional scene where Eazy-E was in the hospital and he just found out he had AIDS, and that scene just it really hit me hard, and then from that point on the whole movie just got emotional and it just took a whole different tone.
Yeah, usually these things aren't very emotionally engaging. Like we said, it's like a reading of a Wikipedia page. But
history and facts.
Yeah,
history and facts.
These really did have scenes where I was lost in the movie, and I think a lot of that has to do too with the way that it was filmed. It was very visually and artistically interesting for a biopic.
Yeah, and going off of this is not a typical biopic. They did this really interesting thing where it's a mixture of reality and film, whereas most of the music video clips they showed in there is from the original NWA stuff. So you kind of have this weird juxtaposition of the actors playing the people and then the actual real people being shown, and they're kind of poking fun of that.
It's like a wink and a nod.
Yeah, and it's just we're not gonna replace what's originally there, and you guys know what this is.
Of course, this is still a biopic, so there's still going to be things wrong with it. I think some of those stem from, some of the things that we didn't like stem from just this is a movie, and so they have to do very movie things in order to keep us entertained. And I think one of the things that we didn't like was the Wikipedia-like dialogue.
I'm Suge Knight. I'm bodyguard from Vegas.
Yeah, it's like,
it's like Tupac just in the back, like, hey, I'm Tupac.
With the bandana and everything. It's like, oh, he wore a bandana in this pic. Let's do it here in the movie. I kind of felt like at the end, they were kind of just trying to tie the movie together. They needed to end it. So, you know, this whole beef situation, in real life, it was so visceral. So, they were so angry at each other. But at the end of the movie, they were just, you know, it was like daps and that was it. It's like, does that really tie it up, you know, or are you just ending a movie here?
It's just like, we gotta wrap up that 1 hour and 30-minute time.
It's just gloss over all of that stuff. This movie does an incredible job not focusing on one particular rapper's history, but they chose to end it on Dr. Dre, like just Dr. Dre by itself. And like, I don't know why they did that.
Yeah, and there was no motivation pointing us towards that ending. Like, it just happened because they didn't have anything else to write, is what it seemed like.
It's like whatever happened to, like, Ice Cube, like, you know, whatever happened
MC Ren yelling.
Yeah.
They totally drop out of the movie.
Yeah.
Like, halfway through.
Like, halfway through, yeah.
Since you're our special guest, we give you the honors to go first. What would you score straight out of Compton?
You know, just based on, again, just the nostalgia factor, you know, living up to my expectations, I really want to say that it was a good 4 out of 5. You know, it does have those biopic pitfalls, but at the same time, it was still a great movie.
I would agree. I'll give it a 4 out of 5. I think it was a really solid movie, and it was nice seeing all those things that I grew up in the hood listening to and seeing.
Maybe it's just the outsider's perspective, but I give it like a 4 out of 5. Just because, like, the music, I was into it. It was just like, bam, bam. You know, for you guys, it's like nostalgia. I was like, my first time. No, and I just want to thank you guys for watching again. And I also want to thank Gabriel for coming out and giving us his input. You know, you're always welcome to come back, man.
Thank you.
And as always, comment, subscribe, and thanks, guys.
Bye, niggas.